First responders are now being trained how best to interact with people on the autism spectrum during search and rescue emergencies. This is a mandate under the recently passed RIO's law. Atlanta News First reporter Yasmina Alston is live in Norfolk Southern and Midtown, where training actually happened today. Yasmina, multiple agencies were represented.
That's right, and that was agencies from smaller cities as well as agencies from larger cities here in Metro Atlanta. They took that training today and say they plan on taking this back to their communities. A group of first responders from all around Georgia gathered in Midtown on Wednesday for an autism first responder training.
Today's training is important because we've seen an increase in search and rescue calls for autistic youth and adults.
The House of Artists Foundation, Norfolk Southern, and Georgia Emergency Search and Rescue partnered to do this.
We know that, in emergency situations, all individuals process the situation differently, and that includes individuals with autism.
The training equipped first responders with tools and resources needed for successful outcomes when responding to emergencies involving people with autism. That could include needing a communication device or knowing when additional support is necessary from the person's family.
They're going to be learning what to look for and what to be equipped with when you are approaching an autistic youth or adult in an emergency situation. So working with an autistic citizen, they could be curious, they could be in fight or flight mode, they could be eloping, they could be just wanting to explore more of what they just finished.
Ashley Drayton with House of Artists says the recent passing of a Senate bill will mandate that first responders have autism center training.
We do have a few autistic individuals in our community, and it would really help.
First responders like Monique Van Eyck from Hancock County say this was an opportunity she and her partner wanted to take part in, as did Sergeant Josh Strauss from Somerville.
It helps us with our community. It helps us with better understanding of our citizens and better understanding of the people that need an extra step, more so than what we're trained to do on a regular basis.
And here in Metro Atlanta, the House of Artists Foundation has already partnered with Austell Fire and Police as well as Cobb County Police. Live in Midtown, Yasmina Alston, Atlanta News First.